So over this container, I start to shredded my soap, and as you see on the picture, it's not difficult. It's just like you have to do a little on your own. This soap, they also sell it in flakes. I do not buy it in flakes. Number one, I get more out of the bar soap, and like you saw in the picture, it comes this big and it comes in white. This one, it has a little bleach in it, and I like it as well. Sometimes I just alternate in between the pink and the white, and all I do is shred it over here. Once I shred it, I'm gonna put it in my boil water, and I'm gonna show you all the ingredients that we are going to be using for this recipe. And this is what we're looking for. You can, if you don't want it shredded, that's fine. You can also cut it in little chunks if you would like to. It just is, it might take a little bit longer to melt in the hot water. I do, like I said, I am heating up my water. Let me finish this real quick, and let me show you my ingredients. I'm gonna soak my utensil in the hot water so it get all that soap out of there. So over here we have, let me move you a little bit out of here. We have, starting on this corner, we have the baking soda. And if you can tell, they tell you too, it's good for laundry, right? So this is the baking soda for laundry. This one, they call it borax. It's in a different container. I just recycle it. And this is called, I think this is the brand, and it's just borax. You know, with this, you can also mix it with sugar, and it's good to kill roaches. Oxiclean, you know, you pay a lot when you buy your detergent with Oxiclean. This one, I believe I got it at BJ's. I bought this on October 2018. There's when I did my very first batch. And I still have quite a bit, because for Oxiclean, you do not use that much. So I believe it's like 2 cups. So I still using it from my very first batch. I forgot to show you this one, October 2018, the same time I bought my Oxiclean, and I bought a second one of baking soda in 320. The other ingredient is super washing soda. This one I bought it on March 2020, super washing soda, and here it also tell you is laundry, bathroom, kitchen, silver, upholstery. So it's good for several things, okay? The main ingredient, that Zote soap. And also my recipe that I have scratched it here, because if you notice, one of the recipes that I washed, it was with the felt Napa Purex soap. I didn't like it, so that's why I take it out. And then I add the Oxiclean, and it calls for coarse sea salt. I'm gonna be using pink Himalayan salt. I think it will do the same. Salt is good to dissolve. So that's what we are going to be doing today. So if we are using the flakes, you want to use 2 boxes. If you are using the soap, 1 soap is enough. The laundry booster, which is this one here, detergent booster. This one we're gonna use 1 to 2 cups and 1 to 2 cups of the super washing, and the little one that we use is the Oxiclean. It might be a cup, and I'm gonna use about 1/2 cup of salt. So let's go back here and let me move you around. You see I have my my utensil in the water because I do want to get all that soap out of there. There you go. So the water is pretty good, warm enough. I do not want this boiling, so I'm gonna put the my heat down a little bit. I believe this is clean enough. I am frugal like that, people. I am frugal like that. Nothing go to waste. Everything we need to use. Okay, so that's good enough. So let me get this out of here. And now what we're gonna do is little by little, and this spatula, if you might call it, I put the soap at the end because I only use it for my soap. Okay, you can dedicate a shredder utensil if you want to your soap, but I don't see why, you know, you will expend more than what you really need to. So all the soap is gonna go in here and it's gonna melt. And we're gonna be moving because we want this to give us a nice texture, melting, soapy in here. And we're gonna give it a couple minutes. And we're gonna just melt this. Remember, we don't want it boiling. We just want it hot enough so for the soap to be melting. And that's the end of that. If you guys want to know, this yield for 10 gallons of soap, laundry soap. And that is a lot of soap. The very first batch that I did, it lasts me a year because I just thought that that's what it was, you know, 10 gallons, that was it. But the second batch that I did, it lasts me 18 months. I noticed that you do not need to use a lot of soap when you are using this soap, and it's all natural. There's no chemicals. Meaning this commercial soap, they put some chemicals for the soap not to separate. So, you know, I don't like that. And you know, now and then you have to shake it, and I'm gonna show you a trick, what I do with mine, so it stay consistently, you know, mixed together once we get to the point of separating the 5 gallons of like original soap. So this is melting pretty good. I'm trying to see if I still have some flakes. I do not see many, which is good. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna turn it off, And if we're gonna keep it on the stove, so what you do is keep it warm. At least my stove stay warm, and you can see that light. Let me see if I can move you around. That little red light, that means that the stove is still hot. So I will keep it on here. I'm gonna add the salt. The salt is about maybe a little over half a cup of salt. It's okay. And you're gonna see the difference if you make this. You're gonna see the difference on when you use like commercial detergent. Yeah, you have to use more, you have to soak, you have to do this, you have to do that. So now it gets to the consistency of a gel, which is what we want. Now I'm going to add my super washing soda, and I'm gonna add about 2 cups. If it gets too thick, you can always add water. So I'm gonna add about 2 cups, and I'm just gonna add it and move it. I don't believe, I have never followed no order of ingredients. Some people might say, yeah, you want to do this or you want to do that. This is my 3rd time doing it. The very first one was the really bad, but the second one was perfect. I had no problems, and then I add a little twist to the when I move it to my gallons, and then and that helps a lot. So that's about 2 cups of the super washing soda. And all we're gonna do is add it on and dissolve this in the mixture. We are doing liquid soap, okay? You can also do powder if you want to. What you do is you shred that soap and you just add all the ingredients and you mix it well and keep it in a big container, and you don't have to do these steps of melting and dissolving, okay? Now let's add 1 cup of the Oxiclean, okay? I'm gonna use that big bowl right there. So that's about maybe 1.5 cups. I'm gonna add the borax. I'm gonna add about the same, about 2 cups. Because remember, we are doing 10 gallons of soap. And all we're doing here is creating a concentrated product, and then we're gonna dissolve this. Okay? Just move it around and dissolve all that until you don't feel no grains on the bottom. Smells so delicious. I feel okay. I'm breaking it now. That big bowl that I put in there, I'm breaking it now. And now I'm gonna move. And if I want to add more water, that's okay. Like I said, guys, if you want to add just to fill it up a little bit more, that's fine. That's perfect. I'm gonna try to do it concentrated now, because when you add your baking soda tend to foam, and that's the last ingredient you are going to add, okay? Still warm, hot to the touch, so that's hot. So we have add the washing soda, we have add the borax, we have add the salt, Oxiclean. Now the last ingredient is your baking soda. I am going to move this until, and you might say, well, that's not tedious at all. That's nice, you know, quick, but this is not all of it. So The video that I posted before this one is gonna be how do I save money, and this is one of my major savings money on my list. And at the end, I'm gonna put how much I save throughout the year, or how much this lasts me. If it lasts me 18 months, how much money I save on laundry soap. Let me show you some other ingredients that you can add in here. This, I think I order, I do not remember, but this is more aromatherapy pure essentials oil, and this one is citrusy. So this you can add to add a little bit more fragrance to your soap, but we're gonna add that at the end when these have cooled down enough, okay? I still feel some grains in the bottom, that's all right. But it feels a lot less, which is good. And it's feel pretty much all melted. Now you're gonna see the difference when I put the baking soda in there, how it foams. So we're gonna do that little by little. Let's add a cup first. And I'm gonna add 2 cups of this. The baking soda is gonna be acting up for the next 24 hours, and there's where the tedious part comes. Because we need to let this sit and foam in an open container. And now I can see the foaming a little bit. And that's why I use this tall container, so that way it won't overflow on me. And I add it all. So we're gonna give this a little time. We're gonna let it sit for a little minute, a couple minutes. We're gonna continue moving until we don't feel those grains at the bottom. Let's add the other cup. Okay, family, so that's it pretty much. Now what we're gonna do is we are going to move this to the a big 5-gallon container, and we're gonna start adding water and mixing together with a special tool. Let me turn you around. In this area, I have placed a towel just to clean and avoid any spills. And the special tool that we're going to use is this handy dandy. This is a cement mixer or grout mixer. I've been having this for maybe 10 years. So if you can see one, some people sell it in the yard sales, or if you go to a flea market, it's long enough. I attach it to my hand drill, and this is the special tool that we're gonna use to mix this soap. I put it on the floor for now. Oh.
But you can also use a big stick, a wood stick as well.
I'm gonna move over my soap. It feels pretty good, pretty dissolved. I'm gonna open my water and run my hot water for now. So the water is still warm and it's still mixing my soap. So what I do at this point, I'm gonna rinse my utensils, and I'm gonna rinse my container, and I am going to make sure every little bit it gets out of this container. So here I have my container. It feels so soft. I still feel some grains in the bottom. I believe it's the salt, but eventually it's going to dissolve. Okay, I'm gonna fill this container pretty much halfway, which would be 2.5 gallons. My water is warm enough so it continues dissolving and mixing, okay? So I'm gonna fill it all the way to that point, about halfway, and I'm gonna start mixing. Let me get my battery that I have been charging for the drill. And we're gonna start slow, okay? You do not want to start to hold it with your 2 hands. I put my leg and I just mix it well, okay? Try not to splash. At this point, you see how liquidy it is? I'm gonna bring you back tonight and tomorrow, and you will see the difference. So you see how liquidy it is, that it won't, it just go around and around. What we're gonna do is tonight, I leave it just like this overnight, right? So tonight I'm gonna come again, I'm gonna add more warm water, and then I'm gonna mix it again. And what we're gonna do is, I am going to get only over here to this area. I am not gonna pass that area because we're gonna leave this bucket for 24 hours. So tomorrow, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna mix it again, and it's gonna be foamy because that baking soda, it will foam. So that's the tedious part of this, okay? But trust me, you have to do this once a year or every 18 months, which is a year and a half. So for me, it's not tedious at all. I'm gonna get you the prices like right now on 2021. When I got this, it was a lot cheaper. But I'm gonna get the prices now for these ingredients. And then I'm gonna give you a roughly amount of the whole 10 gallons of soap, laundry soap, and then you make your own judge, okay? Then you make your own decisions and you think if you want to do it or not, okay? So let me leave it right here for now. I'm gonna bring you back, guys, tonight when I'm gonna mix it again and you will see the difference in the texture. I also want to mention to you guys that if you notice, I bought some of these products in 2018 and some of these 2020. When I did it the first time, I used my whole box of washing soda and I used my whole box of baking soda. That is not necessary. If you notice, 2 cups is more than enough for this product. If you notice, I used my whole bar and I still have product for another batch for another year. So here I'm gonna put the prices now. Okay, family, it's been 8 hours and I don't know if you can see the consistency that it has. It has like a foam on the top. So I'm gonna check this again tonight and leave it overnight. I'm heating up a little bit of water, so I'm gonna add water to this. I'm gonna get the water. I'm just gonna add enough to that 3/4 full. See how it turned liquidy again. Tomorrow we're gonna check it again. We're gonna leave this in another 12 hours. So we are back after 24 hours and this is what you get, that foam on the top. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix this again and you can see the separation on the soap, and now is where I'm gonna bottle it, and I'm gonna show you a trick that I do so that way it will be more unified and emulsify in the lotion in the container. Over here is where I also gonna add that citrus flavor or smell. So I'm gonna add this time the citrus oil, and I already used this I believe it was the second time I did it, and it smells delicious. So I'm just gonna add it was half in there, so I'm just gonna do like a quarter of the little bottle, and it's not too big. This is only a half of an ounce, so that's all I'm gonna add. Smells so delicious. Smells really, really good. And then from here, I'm gonna move you guys to the kitchen where I am going to bottle all this soap. Smells really good. Let's go to the kitchen. So back to the kitchen. Here what we have is I have my 10 gallons here of juice, and like I said, my better half love this juice and he buy it by the gallon weekly, and I save them. And what we're gonna be using is my blender. So in my blender I am going to emulsify this with more warm water. So over there, my kitchen is on. I have some warm water and I'm trying to emulsify this a little bit better. So I'm gonna use half of my blender. So it'd be half of soap, half of warm water, emulsify it for a couple minutes, and then I'm gonna transfer it to my containers. I move my container next to my blender right here in this area. And the reason I emulsify is, I don't know if you can see it, but it has some granulate still, but the blender will do the job, okay? So let's go ahead and let's start blending this and let's start bottling it. So here I have my measuring cup, which is not any measure. All I'm gonna do is use half of soap and half of water, and every time I have warm water, it's already sizzling. I just don't want to make such a mess. So that will be kind of half. And then I have my warm water here, which I'm going to use the same cup, which is all for soap, so it really doesn't matter. 2 of water. And I'm going to refill my warm water while I'm doing this. That's about right. For about a couple minutes, and I'm going to reuse this container that I used once. And And you can see the consistency, which is pretty good. Once in a while, it still separates the soap from the water. All I do is go back when it has its lid on and just give it a good shake, and that will do it. Okay, let's do another one. It might foam a little bit, but that's okay. I let it rest and I come back and refill it. If you want it a little bit stronger, in my case, I am diluted it pretty good because I noticed because of the ingredients that you have, it doesn't need that much soap in your washer machine. So in my case, I am diluted it pretty good. Now, I am going to not dilute it too much at this point, so I'm gonna do 3 cups of soap and 1 of water. That's about 3/4. And 1 of water. I'm gonna turn my stove off because it's boiling right now, and I'm gonna add more water. I'm gonna rinse my, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm rinsing my little rag. And my water's still pretty hot. And I'm gonna keep it right here next to the blender. Okay. I have a little mess here on my blender. I'm just gonna clean it up. And these, what I do is if I wanna finish my product, I just continue filling up, oops, too much. Continue filling up my containers until that foam goes down. I don't know if you can tell the difference. This one is lighter and this is a little bit thicker. I can probably, and this is the difference. So I like better the 3 and 1 of water, and that's what I'm gonna do for the rest. And let that foam just go down. Okay. So I'm gonna finish the whole 10 gallons, and then we're going to identify them by today's date. We are down to the last. So this is my last emulsification that I have to do. And then I'm gonna add maybe half a cup of water, or half of my cup. This is a 2-cup measuring cup. And we're gonna mix this, and I'm gonna show you how many gallons this yields. Out of the 5-gallon bucket, I ended up with -2. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a little bit. 7 and that little, okay? I didn't use enough product because most of the time I get the 10 gallons. I am pleased with 7.5 or 7 and a little bit because this will last me at least 7 months or 8, 7 to 9 months, and I am pleased with that, okay? You see at the beginning how much product I use. I still have more product. So maybe I'm gonna have to end up doing this from today, 9 months from today, okay? So let me show you the separation. This is the very last one that I did. So here is the separation I'm talking about. So there you have a little water at the bottom. All I do is, before I start my load, I just go ahead and mix it all together. That's all I do. Here is another one. I believe this is one of the first ones that I did. So you see that water at the bottom. But all you do is mix it well. The foam is gonna go away in the next hours. And there you have your final product, okay? This is, I believe, is the very first one. So the amount of water that you add is what you're gonna have in separation, and this is what the chemical that the commercial laundry detergent does, is it avoid this separation, okay? So all I do is go back, mix it up before every load. Don't bother me a bit. For every load, I just mix it and you have your final product, okay? This is the one that I did very first of more diluted product. It was 2 and 2, but you can see, you can still have you see your soap and the foam. So that's the separation a little bit, but all I do is come back, mix it up, and you have your product. Not a problem. Foam is gonna go away, still warm. So the foam is gonna go away and you have your final product. Now what we're gonna do is we are going to date this. So here, what I do use is a piece of masking tape because if I don't have more bottles, I will reuse this. So today is October 11, 21, and I like to put the date that I start this batch. So 11/21 start. So what I do is, once I get the bottle, I write the date down, and let me show you for my other old bottles. So this one here, I started on October the 2nd, and I have a little bit of separation and coagulation over here. Not a big deal. All I do is I come back and I shake it. And if you notice the color change a little bit, don't bother me either, smells the same. You might have a little bit of foaming because of the baking soda, so some of them might foam. But what you do is, that's what I'm trying to leave a little head space. And right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove the caps so the foam disappear. And this is one of my old one. This is what I did in 2020. So I start this in October the 2nd, and I still have a whole full gallon. This will last me until November and maybe past November. So there you have it, Half Family. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a little bit. Thank you for watching. I hope this helped. If you want to try this, go ahead, try it. It's not bad. It's a very good soap. I've been using it for 3 years now. I'm happy. It takes the odor out of your clothes, and it leaves your clothes very clean. So thank you for watching, and God bless.